All right, welcome everybody, and thank you for tuning in today. You're listening to the Adam Messer Show. I'm your host, Adam Messer, here live in the studio at the WRU Studios, 107.5 FM, WRU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. We have a really great show planned for you today. This is the third anniversary of the Adam Messer Show, and I'm excited because in the studio today we have Josh Vasquez.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? I want to see if I can fix this monitor so I can see it.
Oh, you're good. I can scoot over a little bit more, about right there.
You good there?
That's it.
Okay, that's all you got?
That's all I got with the headphone cord.
All right. And then we got Terry Drehmel in the house.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Everything.
Of course, we have Sebastian Messer playing on the guitar, playing a little live music. And our special guest today, who is actually on the phone with us, broadcasting live from the near the Atlanta, Georgia area, Bobby Nash, author Bobby Nash. Hey, Bobby, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, good to be back.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's our third anniversary. Woo!
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Total fun. And it's kind of like last minute. That's what I was telling Josh and Terry. It's like last minute. Bobby, I've had Bobby scheduled for a couple months now, which I love having Bobby on because he's a great. You're a great, interesting person to talk with. And then I realized this week, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Well, this is the third anniversary, so.
Well, yeah, and I think we had to do a round of "For He's a Jolly Good Fellow" to Adam here. What do you guys say? Y'all up for it? You want to do a song?
We can do it.
Okay, ready? Yep. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can.
Some people can, but nobody can deny it.
Nobody.
I'm not exactly everybody's favorite cup of tea.
Well, that singing probably wasn't either, but hey, we tried.
Right.
What are we tuning into?
Well, you're like, if you just happen to be listening in today live, you're like, okay, I guess this will be the one and done. One and done. They're like, they made it. The podcast folks made it like the first 30 seconds. They're like,
come on, no. That 3 years, they're hardcore if they're listening for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, it is interesting. I never thought we would be here 3 years from now. I mean, like I started off not really having any kind of expectations of. And matter of fact, it's so crazy because the way it fell, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
You remember you were the first person I had in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So this is the third anniversary of you being a guest on the Adam Messer Show.
Exactly.
Back when it used to be called Muses, Memoirs, and More.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here
I think
today.
I was like the second episode.
Yep, the second episode.
But first person in the studio.
First guest in the studio.
So
Cool.
how has he grown as a radio personality?
He's about a couple inches taller.
I thought so.
No, he's definitely a lot more comfortable with it than he was in the very beginning.
Well, I think like all of us were kind of nervous that first time on the radio. We're like,
And so, yeah, there's so many rules, things we can't say, things we can say,
I know.
things we have to say at certain times.
And Bobby, you've probably done like 1,000 shows since last year, huh?
Well, not as many as you would think, but a bunch. Yeah, there was a lot more because last year with so many conventions being postponed or going virtual. We did a lot of virtual panels, which are basically podcasts, video podcasts. So yeah, a lot of them last year.
Oh yeah. It's amazing how all that played out. Like with it's so crazy because I think with everything last year, with the pandemic and all, people were looking for an outlet for entertainment and reading. It seems like a lot of people reconnected with reading. And, because different places I've been, at least around here, you've had a lot of folks reading more.
Yeah, I think they burned through all of their television library and had to binge watched everything they could. So.
Well, it's kind of like it's so funny because we're always like, well, what do you want for dinner? Oh, I don't know. What do you want for dinner? you just got to get tired of the same old stuff or whatever. And I think it's almost kind of like the same way with like I'll want to read, or I'll want to watch a show, or I might want to draw or write or whatever, but it all kind of gets like you don't want to be a routine.
Mm-hmm. Truly,
having chicken every night we're fortunate we can have chicken every night, don't get me wrong, but after a while you're like, do I really want chicken again tonight?
Well, even something you love, you can get tired of it. I mean, you can only watch so many hours of TV before you're like, okay, I got to do something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Truly, you get to a point where how much of a time can you spend on the couch?
Right. So, what have you been up to, Terry?
Working on issue 12 of Steve Range, and
for those of you who don't know or listening at home, Steve Range Comics is a really interesting comic.
Thank you.
I love the series. That's how you and I met
originally, yes.
Because we saw the book over at Great Face Records,
mm-hmm.
and picked up. And I was like, I sent him an email,
mm-hmm.
like how I do, like
mm-hmm.
I sent a little email, and Terry's like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah. It's the first person that's ever sent an email on my website. Oh my, I better treat him special.
It was funny though because we hit it off and became good friends, and Darlene, your beautiful wife, she is such a lovely lady.
My muse and my publisher and agent. And
mm-hmm. She's such a nice person too.
She absolutely is.
Like such a nice person.
How she got stuck with me, I don't know.
Man, I kind of feel like you're both lucky to have found each other. You've been together
blessed.
like 30 years.
We've been blessed by God. Yeah,
it's amazing.
She's wonderful.
It's like true love story.
Absolutely. I hope she's listening. I know
she is listening because she messaged us and she says,
"Who's playing Scrabble with her?"
The dog more than playing.
See, even Josh gets it.
And he's better, or she's better at it than I am.
Yeah, and she says she's listening. Yep. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. What have you been up to, Josh?
Well, I just woke up from a nap about 30 minutes ago.
Nice.
And so I did that. But my kids, they took turns not sleeping good last night. So it was like, I got to get some kind of nap before the radio show, so I'm somewhat awake for the...
Nice. And the coffee.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went down to the coffee shop, and I was like, let me just get a black drip coffee, easy peasy,
quick
in and out.
Quick and easy, yeah.
They had to brew a fresh pot, and I was like,
that's the way it is.
I was trying to be quick.
It was because it was you.
Yeah.
They said, it's Josh. We got to make it fresh.
It really is.
Yeah. What have you been up to, Bobby?
Well, I just woke up from my nap an hour ago.
Sundays for naps.
That's what it is. I'm missing a nap. I didn't have a nap today.
Just working, trying to get deadlines. How those deadlines wait for no one.
Yeah, time marches on, right?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of work. It's weird how it works sometimes. It's like you'll go months with nothing coming out, and then like 4 different publishers that you've done work for put out books the same week.
That's nice.
When it rains, it pours, kind of thing.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of promotion and podcast and hitting the interview trail and stuff like that. In addition to work, writing and doing some editing and stuff like that. So it's been busy.
Nice.
Busy is good though. Busy keeps me out of trouble.
That's good. That's good, man. I always appreciate that. Everybody else out there in Radio Land, happy Father's Day. Mm-hmm. Happy Father's Day to you, Josh. Happy Father's Day to you, Terry.
And you as well, Adam.
Thank you very much. And Bobby, I know. Tell your dad Happy Father's Day for us, please.
Will do.
Yeah. Bobby and his dad go on these cool little road trips, and they post he puts pictures up and stuff, which is really cool.
That has helped us. That kept us from going stir crazy. During the quarantine periods, we decided that it was always when we first started. It was like, where can we go? And we realized we don't have to go anywhere in particular. We just need to go.
Just drive somewhere. Yeah, get in the car and drive.
Yeah, so we've visited a lot of places, seen scenic areas, and we visited a lot of the state parks.
Very good.
We're in Northeast Georgia, so it's Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina. We visited a lot of parks. Go up there, grab some lunch, eat by the lake, just take it easy, and it gets us out of the house, gets us out, gets a little sun, and it's been nice. Been nice and relaxing.
That's good.
That's awesome. Yeah,
and it's kept us from killing each other.
Get out of the house. Stop being so crazy.
Idea, yeah.
Yep.
I want to give a shout out to Bobby, to Jeffrey Hayes, man.
Yes.
He is the guy that did the new. For those of you playing along at home, he's the one that did the new logo for Valhalla Books, and Bobby introduced us. He's done some work for Bobby with his Snow series, and he's done like a bunch of different cover work for other, and he's going to be doing some cover work for Valhalla Books too.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Not only fantastic creator, but also a fantastic guy.
Yeah, real nice guy.
Yeah,
real nice
just
guy.
wonderful guy, and knows his stuff. He's really talented, really good and quick too.
Oh yeah,
I'm very impressed by the speed that he does his work, and yeah, just a fantastic guy.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend him for anybody that's looking to hire someone to do a book cover or a poster or something.
I tell you what, he's very professional too when it comes to interacting and just doing the work, and his demeanor. He's very professional, very easy to work with, real friendly guy.
Yeah, it's plasmafiregraphics.com is his website if you want to see the work he's done.
Mm-hmm.
He's done quite a number of things: movie posters, CD covers, book covers. Yeah, he's really good.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, wow, that's all right. Well, we'll go ahead to the station ID. Everybody, you're listening today to the Adam Messer Show. I'm your host, Adam Messer, here on WRULP Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. Bill Cooper does that. Josh, you just had a vacation, right? How was it?
It was good. Yeah, we went up to the mountains up near Asheville, North Carolina.
Nice.
Went and saw Chimney Rock and just kind of hung out. A lot of fun. So I'm kind of still playing catch up. This weekend was full of doing all the chores that I didn't get done last
Yeah.
week. So
Yeah, like Father's Day just kind of crept up on everybody, didn't it?
yeah, it really did.
It usually does, I think. That's
I was laughing, like the joking around or whatever. It's like for Mother's Day, it's like 3 months in advance. They're like, hey, Mom would like this $30,000 ring and chocolates and, a massage, and she'd like, dinner out and all this other stuff. And then it's like Dad's Day is like, hey, you need some socks, man?
yeah. Oh, speaking of which, check these guys out. I know
You got
Bobby
some-
can't see them. They
got
got
some-
these for Father's Day. Captain Crunch socks, man.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Darlene and Bisha. They both
Sweet. I told, you see how Terry's got his Hawaiian shirt on?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I bet you anything Josh's going to wear his Hawaiian shirt today. I would have lost money on that one.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, this is the same outfit I wore to church this morning. So
Oh, okay. Good.
Me too.
Nice. Yeah, and I got I got a Father's Day shirt that says, I am your father.
did you get that today?
Yeah.
That's funny. I got 2 Star Wars shirts for Father's Day as well.
Did you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I got a Darth Vader shirt. It says, I am your father, and it's got a big Darth Vader head on it.
pretty awesome.
So, yeah. What's been up with you, Bass, lately?
Just work, and that's it.
Getting that working man grind down on you?
Yeah, trying to.
So it's a lot different when you're out there working every day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, like you look forward to that. You look forward to that free time when you get,
Yeah,
That's true.
definitely makes you appreciate the free time a little bit more.
Oh man, speaking of free time, this week, like I have, this last 6 months or so, I've been on a roll. I've been writing every day or working on publishing every day or whatever. This week, with work, it has just been a grind, and I have not. Like I usually get off work and I'll do something or whatever, or like especially on my days off, and I've been having to just recuperate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, I was just whooped this week.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, plus you're working in like really hot environments and stuff like that, and that just drains.
Well,
it just drains you.
Well, you do work where you're out and about.
Mm-hmm.
Terry,
I'm out all the time.
Yeah,
We
so
have no air.
And actually, Bobby's the only full-time author that we have on the show today. So,
And I work from home.
yeah.
We all want to
So
be
I
Bobby.
go outside as little as possible.
But you work, your grind. I tell you what, you're one of the hardest working people that I know as well. When it comes to all the writing and the publishing and everything that you do.
Oh, thank you.
So I think it's pretty cool. But,
It's definitely. I mean, it's definitely a full-time job.
mm-hmm.
But I love it. It's a job I love, so that makes it a little easier to put the hours in because I like what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Other people must as well because you're popular. So keep it up.
Oh,
man.
thank
Yeah,
you.
keep it up.
Damn. Yes, I try. It's I'm so popular today. Somebody else pretended to be me on Facebook, so I have
Oh, I
arrived.
saw that. What
Yes.
happened there? It was like somebody just
See?
used your.
By the time I found out about it, enough people had reported it. It was gone. So I don't know.
Oh wow!
That's crazy.
I had somebody using my email last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they set up a PayPal account using my email, and I was like, I called PayPal. I was like, I have a maybe it was the week before. I was like, I have an email. My PayPal is already my email, and they're like, oh, there's nothing we could do about it. I was like, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean there's nothing you can do about it? Well, because the catch-all with
Seriously?
Gmail is, like my email is adam.messer, but the catch-all with Gmail is if you have, if you put it, you can put AD period AM Messer or whatever, and it would still catch that because Google recognizes it like that.
Oh, yeah.
So this person just used Adam Messer, no dot, and I was on the phone waiting for an hour just to get somebody on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally came on the line. The guy was like, oh, we're all working from home and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, man. And then the guy was like, well, you'll have to contact Google about that. I was like, how am I going to contact Google when
Google
it's
it.
PayPal?
Right.
And I was like, whatever. So I just locked everything down on PayPal and made sure, disconnected my bank account information and all that.
That's crazy, though. I mean,
Yeah, it's really bad because I've got PayPal. I use PayPal for like certain things that I, do online instead of like using my debit card.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's supposed to be safer.
yeah, anymore, man. It's like Russian hackers. What?
Yeah. See?
The pipeline hacks and all that. Like, oh my gosh, crazy.
Yeah. Got to stay ahead of it.
So, Josh, you put your books out the last couple months, right?
Yep. So it's starting at the end of March and into April. Re-put out my Savannah Zombie series.
Yeah.
With Valhalla Books. Which have I been on since we did that?
No,
No.
have not.
Okay. I always get it
We've done
mixed
the
up.
Valhalla Books podcast.
Yeah, I always
you
get it
haven't
mixed
been
up.
on the radio,
Valhalla
yeah.
Books podcast. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Me and Adam talk all the time, so it's like, which one of those
Yeah.
was recorded?
I know, right? Who's on first?
Yeah, so put those back out, republished them, kind of put a fresh coat of paint on it.
The
And
third book was brand new.
yeah, the third book hasn't even been out. I've been working on that thing for
Brand
the past
new.
5-6 years now.
That's how I feel about book 3 now for mine because like I finished writing it, but I've been working on the editing.
Yeah,
And then this week I've been kicking myself because I'm like, oh, I didn't do any. I haven't worked on it.
yeah, yeah. My biggest thing is because I've written it over like such a big period of time, and like having to go back and like make sure that like, all right, my writing in 2015 adds up with my writing in 2020. So
Yeah. I had somebody read Blood Thrasher, the first vampire book, and she had read some of my newer stuff, and she's like, oh, you're so much of a better writer now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, thanks,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, it is kind of 4 years ago, like almost, 3.5, 4 years ago.
That's how I felt about my first one. That's why I rebranded as the director's cut, so it's a little bit different.
I didn't rewrite anything though with mine. I put it back out and I put some notes in there about like like what I've been working on or whatever. But I didn't rewrite it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I rewrote it would not be the same story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like if I put like corrections or something like that, like how Tolkien did with his Hobbit book and all.
Mm-hmm.
He put corrections, but he didn't rewrite the story.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's like a photo, man. You take a picture and it's a capture of a moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you write a story, like Bobby, for example, you've had a bunch of different books out there,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep.
would you feel like you're, when you first started writing to now that, you've grown as a writer,
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I mean, like if somebody read your early stuff and then they read the stuff today, I mean, like,
Yeah, I'd like to think there's a progression. I also like when I republished Evil Ways after I got my rights back from the publisher that had it first. I republished it. I didn't rewrite it, but the only thing I changed, I had dates in there.
yeah.
Like I had a certain year because it dealt with a high school. Like so, I was using the class of, and I did change that to make it seem current.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Other than that, I didn't change anything
Well,
because for the same reason, it was like I don't want if I rewrite this, Plus, for all the people that have bought it already, they're going to be like, "Oh, do I need to buy it again?"
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, exactly. It's a new book.
Well, it's kind of like when they redo those Hollywood stories, like a
Right.
movie or whatever.
Stars Born or
They just
something.
freshen it up a little bit, but the story's pretty much the same.
Some of them.
Some of them, yeah. But you had book 3 come out, right?
Yeah.
You're and it wraps up that series to that point, and then you've got book 4 that you're working on for the progression, right?
Yeah. Book 4 takes it in some different directions.
Yeah,
I don't think it would just be considered a zombie novel anymore.
more like a post-apocalyptic.
There's a lot more other stuff going on.
Yeah. Well,
Without getting into too many
Yeah,
spoilers.
giving it away.
The thing is too, like when you first wrote it, that was like the first one was 2012, 2013 is when you were starting to write it.
I published it in 2013.
Yeah.
But like the prologue and like the first couple of chapters, I wrote those back in like 2011. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I went back and did this like director's cut version of it, those first couple of chapters are the ones that I adjusted, just because the writing in those didn't quite match the rest of the book.
Yeah.
Because it was just so much earlier and I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. And Terry, with your Steve Range comics, you've come a long way too. Like you made a lot of progression because this is one thing that I love. You started that character arc way back in high school, right?
Yeah, actually, 1974 was when I first started collaborating with those characters.
I love that because you showed me like you remember the little blue mimeograph.
Yeah.
Like he's got some of those mimeograph copies. I thought that was so cool, man, because I just love that character that you have, the X character. And so, like, for those of you who don't know what Steve Range Comics is, it's kind of like a slapstick, humorist. The best thing I could think of would be like Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
It's kind of close to like Mad Magazine, where it's kind of, but it's not grody kind of humor. It's more like
kind of Rocky Bullwinkle stuff.
yeah. It's a lot of fun. So
But,
you're working on issue 12 too, right?
Right. That's gonna be the first digital issue. I don't mean I'm doing it online. It's
You get that,
Eric and Jen Bombert gave me a Wacom Syntec tablet, and I've been working on that.
isn't it cool? Like,
It started
digital-
out, it was a real head banging operation until I got the
get
right
it down.
software. I got the
Yeah.
right app on it, and then all of a sudden it's
What app
just
are you
taken
using
off.
now?
It's called Sketchbook.
Oh yeah,
And it's got like
Autodesk.
Yeah, it's got like some of the pens are just it freaks me out because they're just like using a quill, and some of the ink pens are just like I got a whole box of pens sitting there that I probably won't use anymore.
I think it's cool because I just started doing digital stuff recently too, and I think it's really neat because you can work a lot quicker in digital than you can like pen and pencil.
It seems like it. I mean, I don't have to erase as much because I can wipe out a whole section without.
Or you could do layers.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I like that too.
It helps a lot, but it also helps if you save stuff once in a while too, because
Yeah.
learning that curve too. So.
Yeah.
Hey Bobby, you do pretty cool envelope art when you send books out too.
Yeah, that's fun. That's just me doodling. But yeah, it's just something I love to draw, and I don't do it often. So, and I can't just sit around and draw for nothing. I have to have a reason to do it, or I feel like I should be doing something that I should be doing. So, yeah, I started doing that whenever anybody buys anything from my store, my online store, and I send it out to them. I just start doodle a character on their envelope.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's grown. It used to be just a quick scribble. Now I now I spent an hour on it.
That one that still comes into mind,
Excellent.
man. Like when you did that one of the Hulk and the Fantastic Four in that cave.
Yeah.
That was like probably
No,
one of my
actually-
favorite ones.
Yeah, that
we
was a
did.
commission.
Yeah.
A guy actually called me up and wanted a commission.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was like
And,
kind of Kirby-esque in the style,
Well, yeah,
kind
it
of like
was-
Kirby.
It was a recreation of a Fantastic Four cover.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So-
Had the Hulk like he's like on one side of the cave and like he's hiding from somebody, and then you see the Fantastic Four come up on the other side of the cave, and like they're looking for the Hulk.
Yep.
And that one, I think that turned out really well.
Pretty dramatic.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that one. Man, the thing, the way Jack Kirby drew the thing, it looks so simple
Yeah.
until you try to do it.
It does. It does. I just read that biography that Tom Scully did. Scioli. I'm not sure how you say his name,
Right.
but he had a biography on Jack Kirby. So Jack Kirby was like the king of comics back in the day, y'all. For anybody that doesn't know who Jack Kirby was, but they did this biography, and it was a graphic novel biography, and it was a 6-panel comic book setup. So every page was 6 panels, but it was done like kind of like an old school style. Like it looked like it could have been like an old. They do this like new. It's new, but it's done so it looks retro.
Right.
And man, it was a good one. It was. I'll tell you what, it was kind of like slanted. Like there was a lot of animosity Jack Kirby had against Stan Lee, so it was kind of like slanted. It didn't really show Stan Lee's perspective. But the same guy's doing another one about Stan Lee. So I don't know if that'll have some of that in there, but there was like 1 or 2 pages where it showed like, Stan Lee's side of the Jack Kirby story or whatever.
Yeah.
But man, it was a really good graphic novel, really good biography. I enjoyed it. I never really read a whole lot of Jack Kirby stuff. Like if you're a comic book nerd, you know who Jack Kirby is, but it's like
Kirby was a great idea, man. He was.
yeah, he
Big
created like
ideas.
Fantastic Four, the
Yeah,
X-Men,
it's-
Spider-Man, Iron Man.
Yeah.
He was the one that created the Marvel version of Thor.
Yeah.
The Hulk.
Well, he was one of the co-creators of Captain America. And,
Right.
Yep.
but he was a big idea, man. He came up with a lot of like huge ideas that
In that
he
biography,
he
they were
needed
saying
a
that.
writer, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing though. In the biography, it was saying that he was the one that wrote a lot of the. You okay, Terry?
Fine. Yeah.
He wrote story. He was not good at writing things like dialogue.
Maybe not dialogue, but he was the one that wrote the story.
Because the way they broke the early Marvel stuff, how they broke it, because in those early days, Stan was writing everything.
Well,
Stan
seeing
was
that
on
according to
every
that
book.
biography.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, he is listed as the writer.
Yeah.
But the way they did it was the artist and writer would talk on the phone or in the office,
Yeah.
and they would say, "Here's what we should do," and they would talk for 5 or 10 minutes about, "Here's what we should do," and then the artist would go off, and the artist would craft the story. The artist would do all the artwork, and
Yeah.
basically they took that plot, and the artist did all of laid the story out, and then Stan came in, looked at the notes the artist made on the side saying what's going on,
Yeah.
and then Stan did the dialogue. And
Well, in
they
that
say,
biography, it was like Kirby was saying that he had done the stories, and that Stan went back and took all the credit. And I'm like, oh man,
Well,
You get that much.
it's like
talent
you don't know what the truth is, but I mean, I know Stan Lee did a lot of writing back in the day.
well, Stan's writing added a lot to it, because I mean, Stan would put these flourishes in the storytelling.
Right.
Like there's the one that I always think of. There's a panel. It's a Captain America story. I don't remember which one, but Jack just drew the Red Skull shooting someone off panel. That was it. And Stan added this whole flourish about the Red Skull showing off his prowess with the gun by shooting because he didn't kill the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He shot the bullet. He shot the buttons off of his uniform.
Yeah.
Little things like that. So Stan added those kind of touches.
Yeah.
Whereas Jack was just a straightforward, shoot him.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I can see that too, because I've been reading the New Gods, and he wrote that,
Right.
And you could see the difference with the kind of not. I don't want to say choppy, but it is kind of like a little choppy. We've got to do the station break. Everybody, Sebastian, you mind playing a little bit, and we're going to do the station announcements. Everybody, you're listening today to the Adam Messer Show. I'm your host, Adam Messer, here today with my special guest. We're doing the 3rd year anniversary. We got Josh Vasquez in the house.
Hey, what's up?
We got Terry Drehmel.
Hello.
Hello. Sebastian Messer playing on the radio guitar. And we've got Bobby Nash, special guest Bobby Nash, on the telephone with us. So,
Hey.
and you're listening to WRU LP Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. All right, and here are the announcements.
Sources. Beyond their beauty and cultural significance, the impact of trees are far-reaching and compounding, spanning from economic benefits to health improvements to climate change resilience. Trees are woven into every aspect of our lives. Savannah Tree Foundation protects and grows Chatham County's urban forest through tree planting, community engagement, and advocacy. More information is available at savannahtree.org.
Do you own a small business? Do you want to get your message out to a dedicated, loyal, and active audience? Then make WRUU part of your company's marketing strategy. Our listeners aren't just passively listening to us in the background. When your company underwrites with WRUU, you're getting their attention. And you're also supporting Savannah's only community radio station. It's an act of both self-interest and community spirit. Connect your brand with WRUU's passion, spunk, and hyper-local focus by choosing an underwriting package that fits your company's budget. Email underwriting@wruu.org for more information. Thank you.
This portion of WRUU Savannah Soundings programming is provided by listeners and by Brighter Day Natural Foods. Brighter Day Natural Foods has been serving Savannah's healthy food and supplement needs since 1978. It is located at the corner of Bull Street and Park Avenue. They have available online ordering and curbside delivery, and now a walk-up window for smoothies, juices, and sandwiches from the deli. They are open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. More information can be found at brighterdayfoods.com.
All right, we're back, and we're chit-chatting today, just having a nice little time in the studio. So, yeah. What, Bobby, you there?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good. You have written comics.
I have, yes. I love writing comics. That was how I started.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I've always enjoyed comics. And like Josh and I talk a lot about storytelling on the Valhalla Books thing. We talk a lot about that. And then Terry, you do your own comic with the Steve Range Comics, which is all your original stuff. Let's just we'll just round robin it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll just take turns. How about Josh? You ask a question, and then we'll just flip flop it.
Okay. What am I asking a question about? Sorry, I missed the
storytelling.
Storytelling. So, what is storytelling?
That's a good question.
That is.
We'll
defer to Bobby Nash because
yeah.
It is where you tell a story. No.
Exactly.
Well done.
There's storytelling. I mean, it's not just it's the whole thing of getting the story out and how you present it to people. Because, like, if you're doing comics, comics, unless you're doing everything, comics can have multiple, creators involved. And each one of those creators is a storyteller. The writer is telling a story. The artists are telling stories, with the art as well. So there's a lot that can go into telling a story. Even the colorist, can add.
For sure.
Oh, the colorist. I think the colorist adds so much to it because usually coloring adds the depth. Like I love grayscale too, but have you ever seen just a fantastic what's that guy's name that's doing all the new Superman and Alex Ross? like the way his paintings are, the stuff looks so kind of photorealistic. You know, he's the one that's done like all those, I don't know, like the updated version of, you know, like the older version of the Justice League, and he's been doing a lot of those Immortal Hulk covers.
Yep.
And the way his stuff is, it's like I don't know how it's not that it's not believable, but it's not like it looks like a photo, but it looks a lot more like a painting, like an oil painting or something like that.
Well, they're not oil. He uses a thing called gouache to paint with.
Oh, okay.
I've actually seen there was a couple years back. There was in Greenville, South Carolina. There was an art gallery show of his work.
Okay.
It was in turn with the South Carolina Comic Con, SC Comic Con, and we went to the gallery and saw the paintings, and he does paint those, and they're quite stunning up close.
There was a guy that did the original artwork for the Transformers, like the box artwork. It was a similar kind of style back in the 80s, but they hired the guy because his like machine type drawings and paintings made it pop off of the page. Cool. And that's what I noticed with the colorists. Because I love a good black and white. I mean, like I don't really do color myself, but
I have no color in in my background, so it's all black and white to me. So, yeah.
All right, but where the storytelling comes in, you probably do things. You know, do you do your own artwork?
Yeah, I have to do all my own writing and artwork. So.
Yeah. So you probably draw it in a certain way to take advantage of it being black and white, to where if you knew it was going to be in color, you might alter the way you draw, because the color would handle some of the things that you now have to handle in black and white. So you can evoke a lot of mood based on shadows and how much black and white you have in there and different things like that. And those are just tricks we all learn as we do it.
Sure.
Of how, and then it depends on what kind of story you're telling too. If you're telling like a thriller or a noir or something like that, or a horror, you're doing a horror comic, you want more blacks.
Sure, a lot more
shadows, more of that, because you're evoking a mood.
I think Josh was actually just joking with us, like, what is storytelling? But it actually turned out to be a good question.
I think so.
Yeah, that's normally how my stuff works out. I start as a joke, and then I end up doing it for real.
It's so funny because, like, on Josh's, on your podcast that you do, the Savannah Zombie podcast, like, Josh and I were talking about this. Josh is like real lively on that show. and then we do the Valhalla books one. And he's like, yeah. I'm like Josh. So he's like, well, the energy kind of bounces. I don't have to. I think what you said was like, oh, you do the one by yourself. You have to kind of like liven it up.
Yeah, it's just me. I have to be a little bit more lively. I have to, carry on the show. Like there's nobody to talk to. I'm just talking to myself. So I just keep going, just concentrating thought. Very much like what I'm doing right now.
There you go.
But right now, there's 4 of us in the studio. Josh can just like, hey, let's listen to the other people talk for a second.
I'm coasting.
And I'm sitting there like, Josh, come on, man. Give me something, baby. Come on, man.
Get that vibe going.
Yeah. So, storytelling, though. But, I think the interesting thing about it is, like, especially, like, the 4 of us talking and all that, even with Sebastian with the music and all that, we all have these different mediums and all these different ways of getting our stories out there. But the storytelling is essentially the same, and it's the big building block of what keeps us going.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a compelling story, I mean, you're not moving on to issue 12. Me and Adam aren't moving on to books 3. Like it's just like not like.
Well, I gotta give you a shout out too, Josh, because when we, talking about the podcast and all, Josh had this idea this year that really worked. I feel like for both of us. Where it's like, hey, we're talking all the time. Let's do a podcast. Let's be accountability partners. And
That's
so
a
we
great
started.
idea.
Yeah, we started doing that. And you finished your 3rd book. I wrote my 3rd book, and I'm working on the editing and all. But we have just been kind of talking about storytelling. We've been just working together. Not that I'm doing any of the writing for him or vice versa. We don't.
Right.
But it's just more like, hey, where you at? What are you doing?
Yeah. A lot of, like, hey, this is, what I've written, or this is what I've worked on, every now and then be like, hey, I've kind of got like this idea. What do you think about that? And But yeah,
That B- work thing, you want to talk about that? I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that's something that you came across.
Oh, that's right.
I think
forgot.
was it
Well,
podcast? You came across that?
Yeah, you were talking about the word count, and then we were.
Yeah.
I think around the same time we were talking about the B- work.
Yeah, we had two separate epiphanies at the same
same
time,
time.
and
Yeah.
decided to put them together. So
Yeah.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. The one that I came across was like if you wrote so many words a day, I think it was like 800 words a day, I think it was.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, if you write every day, you should have 4 50,000 word novelettes, novellas written, where you would come across the idea of, like perfection and like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind of like
Savannah
the enemy of
Gilbo.
completed.
Yeah, she had that podcast where she was like, you got to be okay with like B- work.
Yeah.
B- work can change your life because, as perfectionists, we want to, we want it to be the best that we can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, yeah.
Right, but it's also true too. You can't edit a blank page.
No.
Right.
If you can put your B- work down,
Mm-hmm.
get the book finished, then on your second pass you can bump it up to a B.
Yeah, B's get degrees.
I think a lot of writers think it's perfect the first pass, and that's something a lot of us have to learn the hard way to get over. That it's not perfect the first pass. And
It's kind of like I was saying
it's
that.
not perfect. Yeah, sometimes it's not perfect the second pass. You just have to.
It's kind of like when I was saying that girl that read the first Blood Thrasher, and then she said, because she's read other stuff of mine, and I was like, well, I hope I've progressed since then. That's a different. When I wrote it at the time, that was a different thing. But yeah, I feel the same way. It's like you got to get the work out there though. You can't just sit on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be like, oh well. It's just like with you, Bobby. You do a lot of publishing with different media tie-in and all that and whatever, and you can't just sit on that work.
No, deadlines are important. You get this stuff. It's like, I need this by this date, and
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you do whatever you can to make that happen. And
It seems like with some ideas too. I mean, like if you almost feel like if you don't get it out there now, you're going to miss something. You're going to miss the spot where it should have fallen into history. You know.
Well, that's what I was worried about with my third book. It's like I gotta get this finished before reality takes all my good ideas.
Exactly.
Between everything that happened last year, I was like, the zombie apocalypse is small change compared to what's going on right now.
Isn't it funny how things that we used to would laugh at if we wrote them into a book because it's not believable turned out to be true?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a problem with that with issue 7. Issue 7 never got published because I did a whole thing about karma on the inside page, and the X is going, if you humans really got paid back for what you normally do, everything good and bad, this planet's due for another mass extinction. And it's like a month later we have COVID, and it was like,
It was crazy because you had sent me the cover art when you were working on number 7, and then like COVID hit, and you're like,
well, it was supposed to be the lucky issue.
Yeah.
It was going to be issue number 7. It's lucky.
yeah, because like I am such a mega nerd fan of Terry's work. Like usually, I'm not always, but quite a few of the issues I have been the first person to get a new copy outside of the Terry having one. And I was like, oh, yeah, man. And it was so crazy because you sent the cover, and then all of a sudden it's like, there's COVID.
Yeah. I think I'm done.
It's like, number 7 is over.
You missed a grand opportunity to put that issue out and slap on one of those Law and Order inspired by true events.
Oh, yeah, of course. No.
Or you could have been like the Simpsons, but like, did the Simpsons write this?
Did Terry Dremel predict COVID?
I don't know.
It's a BuzzFeed article.
Well, I was just worried people were going to come and attack me or something.
And we'll be like, we broke it here on the WRUU studios. We have a shout out. It says, happy birthday to artist and friend Harriet DeLong.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's true. Today is Harriet's birthday. I'm sure she's listening in Savannah here. And we should
She's such a nice lady,
She
too.
is. She's wonderful. She's paper works in sculpture and
She
of
has
other
a lot
mediums.
of really interesting art.
Absolutely.
And
Happy birthday, Harriet.
So Darlene wanted to say shout out. Happy birthday.
Very good.
So very cool.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
And then
Miss
of course
Harriet.
we said it earlier, but we'll say it again. Happy Father's Day
Happy
to
Father's Day, indeed.
all the fathers out there. And for some reason my headset sounds weird. I don't know.
Sounds normal over here.
Yeah,
You
me
sound
too.
I sound okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just you ever talk and you feel like your voice sounds weird.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do some
Something like that.
I had to do some voiceover work for a company I worked for.
Oh, yeah.
It was like they did these videos and then they wanted someone to narrate it.
Uh,
And I don't know what happened. I kept hearing some noise that I don't think was there.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the worst experiences of my life. I got it done as quickly as possible and then just said I never want to hear this again.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah.
That's like because you were making fun of me with my podcast earlier.
I was not making fun of you. I was just like for an hour I've been like, "Hey Josh, hey," you're like,
Yeah.
trying to get
coffee
you out of your
hasn't kicked
shell.
in yet.
Yeah. So I record mine like on the way to work in the morning time, like as I'm like I got like the headset on and everything, hands free of course, because safety first.
Sure.
Yeah, so you'll hear like background noise and stuff, and I'll hear it over the headphones. I'm like, man, what is that noise? And I'll just stop and lose my train of thought. Like,
That's
I don't
what
remember what I was talking about, but
Maybe I'm so used to like not having anybody in the studio that's what it is.
It could be. It could be.
Because you got all these other different connections.
Yeah.
Because I keep adjusting the volume because it keeps spiking, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't making fun of you.
No,
man.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
But it was
For
funny
making
though.
fun of me.
It was funny because I'd look over at Josh and I'm like, yeah, Josh, and he'd have like this stare, like, "Arr."
So yeah, the coffee just kicked in.
I was gonna say.
So
That's
I'm good
good.
now.
That's good.
The first 15 minutes are just a little sleepy.
But I'm bummed.
Yeah.
Well, you say you just got up from a nap, like right before. I'm like, maybe it did
yeah.
kick in. I need a nap too, man. I'm tired.
Yeah. I spent all day yesterday putting together a shed. So like yeah.
So
it wasn't too bad. Like it was one of those like easy like put together like already fabricated kind of ones, but
Was it one of the big plastic ones? Or
yeah.
was it- oh, those
it's, like
are
it's a 7x7 foot, but
Yeah.
it was the Craftsman one.
nice.
Yeah.
We
was
we
fun.
had I bought one of those little Rubbermaid ones years ago,
Mhm.
and I bought it. It was so stupid. I bought it used off of Craigslist.
Yeah.
Had the guy deliver it, and for some reason the guy had delivered it not put together.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Sebastian was like 6 or 7 years old, and so I tried to put it together when I first got it. Tried to put it together, couldn't get it to go because it doesn't like have. It literally just has little slide-on connectors, but they all have to go together.
Ooh.
And so it sat in the yard for like 10 years. Like literally.
Yeah.
And, of course it's Rubbermaid, so it's like,
That's indestructible.
yeah. So a couple years ago we put it together, me and Sebastian.
Yeah.
We had it together in like 10 minutes because I actually had some help.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
But it sat there for like 10 years and I was just like,
it's a good thing Sebastian came along. You know.
right.
You just had to wait for him to grow up. So he could help
Exactly.
That's
You
all.
know, it's kind of
That's
like
what I told him. I said, man, I'm going to get my money's worth.
all
out
about
of
timing.
you. Gonna get my money's worth.
your legacy will be, you know.
Yeah, he's like, come on, daddy.
Yeah.
So,
So storytelling.
yeah. Okay, Terry, your turn.
No, I was directing that towards
Oh,
Bobby.
no, it's your turn. You get to ask. You get to ask the next question.
Okay, so
We got to do the station ID real quick, though.
good.
So.
Saved by the bell.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. You're listening to the Adam Messer Show. This is the 3rd year anniversary show. Woo-woo. We got Josh Vasquez. TikTok. We got Terry Drehmel. Hello. And we got Bobby Nash.
Hey,
And I asked Sebastian if he would go get me an Americano.
Oh, is that where he went so quickly? Yeah.
I was like, will you please go get me an Americano?
So Josh, you going to take over on guitar there?
I can. It won't be as good. Geez, guys. Oh, just kidding.
Oh, jeez, guys. Rick
Rick and Morty comes back out today, so I'm excited.
I'm excited about that, too.
Comes on at 11 o'clock, which is
Oh, man. I'm going to have to catch
way
it on
past my bedtime.
I'm going to have to catch it on the I can't remember what they were playing it on. Prime?
I think it's on Adult Swim, and then I think HBO Max might have it.
It was
yeah, it's HBO Max. Yeah.
Oh, HBO Max has got it now?
Yeah, because I just
Bummer.
rewatched all 4 seasons on there.
Oh man, last Rick and Morty is this cartoon. It's like a nerd cartoon.
Really?
It's funny. It's like wicked funny.
Is there anything like Space Ghost? Coast to
Yeah, but a little bit more nerdy.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
like a sci-fi comedy.
You would like it. You would like it. I think it's a little. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, yeah, it's coming out today though.
Yeah, 11 o'clock tonight.
Cool.
Man, I don't have
Season
cable
5.
TV though.
Yeah.
And if is it gonna simulcast on HBO Max?
I don't know.
That would be really cool.
I know I got that HBO Max for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And then
had-
they've been releasing things every month, and I was like, I don't want to delete it yet. This is King Kong versus Godzilla's coming out, and
I got the
Mortal
6
Kombat's
month
coming.
thing. When they first came out, I got the 6 month thing,
Yeah.
but it's expired this month, so I didn't renew it.
Gotcha.
And they're like, you can come back anytime. I'm like, well, yeah, of course I can come back anytime. Thanks, HBO.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I'm like, I
cost you?
can resub anytime I want. Thanks. So
Sent
it's
you
all
an
like a
email.
life-
Hey, don't come back.
yeah, like lifetime ban. Like you
You watch too much
you're
stuff.
done. You're done.
No TV for you.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yes.
That's crazy.
I've been enjoying HBO Max, so it's had some pretty good stuff because they're rolling over a lot of the stuff that was on the DC Comics app, like the DC shows, the Warner Brothers. All of those have been slowly moving over.
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons why I've kept it, because
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch all this stuff, but I was like, I'm not paying for a DC subscription.
That's what the whole thing was. We got Amazon Prime, we got Netflix, we got Hulu,
Yeah.
we got Disney Plus,
Yeah.
and we had HBO Max. And of those different ones, it was like, okay, well, I was gonna get rid of Netflix.
Yeah.
And HBO Max because I don't watch either one. And then my kids are like, oh, we want Netflix. I'm like, okay. And then HBO Max, like everybody's like, oh, because they had the thing where you could watch it in the theater same day or whatever, with the COVID stuff. And even Disney did that.
Yeah.
But then Disney's like, well, if you want to watch it same day, it's $30 on top of your subscription. I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
But
Well, if Netflix didn't have Barbie's Dreamhouse Adventures, I would cut it today. But my little girls would probably have a revolution.
No,
They
we
cut
know,
you.
Josh. We know.
you cut it, they cut you.
We're hoping they have a
Actually,
zombie edition of
I'm more of a Life in the Dreamhouse guy as opposed to Dreamhouse Adventures when it comes to
Oh,
Barbie,
nice.
because I think the writing's just a little bit better.
You got to
But
draw the line someplace,
Yeah.
right?
Nice.
there's a lot of culture jokes in the other show as opposed to the newer one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Barbie's a little bit
more
more.
cutting
She's a
edge.
little bit more meta in the older show.
Ah. yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we've got about 2 or 3 more minutes for this hour.
Cool.
Then we're
Wow.
going on a break for the next one.
Cool.
You were going to ask a question, Terry?
Yes, I was, Adam. What do you consider the hardest type of story part of the story to come up with? I mean, when we're talking about storytelling, is it the initial idea or trying to come to a conclusion?
Talking about
Not going to
The middle.
The middle. Bobby?
The middle. The first half of a book just falls out of me really easy, really quick. I get to the middle and I have trouble knowing when it's time to leave the middle to go to the end. And it seems to drag for me. But I've learned now when it starts dragging for me, okay, we're at the end of the middle.
Yeah.
And to start wrapping it up, because I will do that. I will find myself spinning my wheels for a while to get to the end, and it just kills my momentum, kills the story. So that's the worst part for me.
I think it's interesting, too, because Josh and Terry, you're both very much planners. You plot it out and you plan it out.
Yeah.
And Bobby, from what I understand, you're not so much a planner.
I'm kind of somewhere that I have a plan.
Right.
It's a very loose
Or a
plan.
plotter or whatever.
Yeah, I don't outline. I can't outline. Outlining, I just cannot do it. Because I put so much into the outline that when it comes time to write it, I've lost interest because I feel like I've already done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds
So-
familiar.
Yeah, so I have a loose plot. I know plot points
Like where
I
you're
need
going
to
to
hit.
go and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but then I point the character toward the first one and say, go, and I follow them to see how they get there. So it leaves it open to sometimes the characters will take me in interesting directions. Instead of straight toward the first plot point, we take this left, and, you get some interesting things that way. So I really let the characters dictate how we get to where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
That's we've only got like a minute left. But
Yeah, I'll talk fast.
No, well, I was gonna say because you're really thorough with your outlining.
Yeah, like I've had the outline done for what originally was just book 3, but now it's book 3 and 4,
Yeah.
or going into book 4, and then I have the idea for the 5th book after that.
Yeah.
And it's all there. It's just a matter of getting the time in the chair and writing it for me.
Yeah.
So.
And Terry, you're very much a planner too, like a plotter. Like
Seriously, no, I'm not. I have a big problem with that.
I thought you said that you like to get the whole book plotted out and then you start drawing it.
Not well. What I like to do is get it all sketched out. But that the story itself, the problem is I'll have like an idea,
Yeah.
and so I usually don't have any kind of an idea how it's going to end. That's the problem. And like Bobby's talking about, the characters take off without me, and all of a sudden I've got hillbillies from Atlantis. You know, I mean, stuff like that.
That was a funny issue.
You know, it's just one of those
a good
things,
issue.
You know, so.
Hillbillies from Atlantis. He had a whole issue just about like, what if they were from Atlanta?
No, Atlantis, man.
Yeah.
Seriously. So if you know, all of the technology and everything that we have is hillbillyan, you know. I mean, it's,
that was a good issue. I love that one you did too. That one talking about Jack Kirby, that Galactimus.
Oh, Galactimonius.
Galactimonius. He has a Galactus character, like not Galactus, but it's Galactus.
Well, it's more like little kids jumping on the bed, but they're they're superheroes.
It was really good.
Yeah.
That photo was really good. So, all right, real quick, Josh, best place people could check out your
ValhallaBooks.com.
There you go.
Okay. That ditto for me. All right, Terry.
SteeRangeComics.com.
Awesome. And Bobby?
BobbyNash.com.
Awesome. All right. So we'll be back, everybody, at 4 o'clock for the second hour of the 3rd anniversary show. And Sebastian just got here.
He's back with a coffee. We're going to be all juiced up for the next hour.
I'll be even more lively than the last hour.
Yes. I can go back to Quiet Zone. No, I'm just kidding.
Josh is like, why are you putting me on the spot?
You could just shut my mic off.
All right, everybody.